Hitting record here. Nasally Congesto Man. There's a good title. Someone just submitted.
Yeah. Already. Yeah.
Somebody, Kim brought me a, what's this called? It's a Starbucks medicine ball.
Oh, yeah. Right. People have been talking about that.
It's like hot tea,
lemon, honey or something. Yeah.
a bunch
It's
of
supposed
stuff.
to be really good.
A little bit of peach in there for some reason. I don't know why.
It's supposed to be good.
Yeah, it's good. Tastes good too.
Good.
All right. This is it. We're doing it. Suck it up, you guys. You know what you signed up for. You signed up for this. All right. I'm going to start it off in 3, 2, 1. Coming up on TMS, it's an email kind of morning.
How red is your lobster?
Men with beards are way sexy.
Damn right. What's the sign for you farted?
I don't remember meth being in the original recipe.
Therapy Thursday and more on this episode of The Morning Stream.
When you can't be choosy about what you're having for dinner, make sure you have Pepto-Bismol for dessert. Pepto-Bismol's coating action will help protect and soothe your poor, abused stomach lining. Pepto-Bismol, when your stomach has its work cut out for it.
You allow your chimp on the bed?
The morning stream, the morning stream, the morning stream, the morning stream, the morning stream.
Those bastards are turning back. This is the morning stream.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the morning stream. It is Thursday, November 15th, 2018. I'm Scott Johnson with Brian Ibbett. Hi, Brian.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
I'm trying to go higher. Won't let me. If I go too high, it cracks. So I'm just going to stay in this nice little low range here. It's fine. I was up all night because I couldn't breathe. It's like just head packed with the goop, and I couldn't breathe. So I was mouth breathing all night like some kind of freaking, ancient man crawling out of the cave for the first time. It was awful.
Well, and it feels like, the stuff that I go for immediately when I'm like that is Mucinex. And we talked about this yesterday, that you're doing the Mucinex. That's not helping you, though, right?
It's not helping me this time. Neither is NyQuil. Neither is... actually, nothing's doing anything. The best I've had so far, Kim brought me this Starbucks medicine ball thing. Which is like, dude, we were talking about before the show, but it's like tea, lemon, peach, the freaking other stuff, honey maybe. And it's pretty good. It kind of, it's better. I sound better now than I did a half an hour ago, let's say, because of this stuff. So this is about the only thing that's really helped me at all. But
here you go. Half steamed lemonade, half hot water, a Tivana Jade Citrus Mint tea bag, and a bag of Tivana Peach Tranquility tea, a packet of honey, and an optional pump of peppermint. Or Heppermint.
Heppermint, sure, why not?
Heppermint.
I'll bet Phoenix Pearl Tea would have something that's better. I just can't get there. Can't go over there, and all the ones I have are World of Warcraft ones. I don't think those are for sick people, but the lemongrass. There was one that was like lemongrass. Oh, there's a spider crawling around up. Kill it, Brian. Kill it. They're not allowed.
He's out of reach. He's walking. Oh my God, this is creepy. He's walking along my Hue light strip, and every time he walks across a light, it causes the shadow of a giant spider as it goes by.
I thought you were gonna say he's walking on 2 feet, which is even creepier. Can you imagine a spider just up on 2 hind legs, walking with the rest of its arms out?
Well, no, but there was a spider. So when Tristan and I, we went on this bike ride, and it was. Basically, we did about a third of the path that I usually do when I go around the reservoir, and I've talked about this back when I was doing my training for the MS-150 earlier this year.
Oh, yeah.
And we came up on this hill and saw this spider kind of walking across the middle of the path, and it was big and kind of fuzzy like a tarantula. Might have been a tarantula that somebody discarded. I don't think tarantulas are native to Arvada. Maybe they are. I don't know.
Yeah.
But... when we rode by, he reared up on his hind legs and like had his front legs up like he was Daniel-san about to attack.
Yeah, and you have his 2 little front fangs doing anything.
He had his fangs going too, and he was like turning to like stay pointed at us. And so we did what anybody would do. We got off our bikes and went back over there to kind of like see him again.
Yeah.
And we got a little too close, and he started running after us, and both of us like, ah, on our bikes and like rode off.
Oh, that's scary. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Even though he's so much smaller than you guys, and you could probably squish him with one foot. It's not cool. It's not cool.
Yeah, just the fact that he was like, I've never seen a spider that aggressive, and I hope I never do again.
It's just it's a good reminder about who's in charge on this planet. It's not us. We think it is, but really it's the spiders. There's billions of them.
And the good news is the spider that was walking across my ceiling, can't see him anymore. He's gone.
Good.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Nothing better. What's worse than a spider crawling across your ceiling? A spider you don't see anymore that was crawling across your ceiling.
He's back with his family now, where they're making more. They're making more eggs and repopulating your house. Yeah. Do you ever do the spray inside? Do you ever have that done? We do it once in a while.
No, like the
they come out and do it.
Not so far as like tenting the house and doing that, like fumigating.
Oh, not that way. No, not full like Breaking Bad level, but like they'll just come and do like a little squirty on all the baseboards and stuff. And whenever they do that, I'm always asking like 100 times. Now wait, this isn't going to hurt the pets, right? The dogs aren't going to have a problem with this, right? Blah, blah, blah. And they get really sick of me saying that, but apparently it's pet safe. So we've done it a couple times, and then you have like a whole year without any bugs. It's kind of nice. So also, I'm seeing here tarantulas can be native to the Rocky Mountain region, so both you and I can get them. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. We learned a little something today.
Yeah.
Only...
I don't mind tarantulas. This one was a little aggressive, but tarantulas usually, just like crawling across your hand and hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
I'm kind of the nice spider.
Yeah, they're the furry ones.
Trying to give all of us a good name. How's it going? Hi.
I told you about how I had a spider, a toad, and a praying mantis all living in the same cage. Have I told you about this?
Walked into a bar. A spider, a toad, and a praying mantis walked into a bar.
It does sound like a joke.
No, you didn't tell me about this. All in the same cage?
Yeah, so it was a aquarium, and I was probably 15 is when I was really into this. Had gerbils and all this stuff. And I had this big aquarium, and I put those three creatures in to see who would survive.
Thunderdome, basically.
Yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, it was Thunderdome. I was like, my money was on the spider because I just thought, no way a toad who just wants to sit there and do nothing, and a praying mantis who just looks weird. I didn't think either of those two guys had a chance. I leave for a day. I'm at school, whatever. I come home. I look into the cage. In one corner is a now drying, shriveling toad who has lost the battle with something. Don't know what, but he lost. So he's in the corner just staring
Probably
up
the spider, yeah.
Staring up at frog heaven going, take me now, Jesus, kind of thing, right? And then I'm looking around the cage. I'm like, what else we got here? I find the tarantula on its back, legs up, dead.
Oh, really?
The freaking praying mantis was the man. He took down everybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
This was the worst issue of Marvel Team Up ever released.
Oh, so bad. Manta versus the Toad.
Well, there you got Mantis, you got Toad, and then you've got Spider-Man.
That's right. They're all Marvel? Is Mantis Marvel?
They're all Marvel. Well, yeah, of course.
Who am I thinking of?
The Galaxy, Mantis, come on.
Oh, I'm thinking of Manta. Black Manta is what I'm thinking
You're thinking of Black Manta. No, Mantis.
Yeah.
Palm, whatever her name is from...
Pomegranate. That's her name.
Yes, Pomegranate.
Pomegranate. She's great. She's one of my favorite things in those movies.
She is.
They don't make a third one. I'm gonna be sad. It's gonna bum me out.
They're talking about it, but it is gonna be sad without having what's his face involved.
Sidian. Listen to this. Regular Jesus is also in charge of Frog Heaven. Fantastic. One Jesus to fit them all. Yeah.
Because of you being out sick, you and I never even really talked about Stan Lee.
No, we haven't actually. Because the day it happened was the day we didn't do a show, right?
That's right. Yeah. Well, the day after it happened, right? It happened the after. We heard about it Monday afternoon, and then there was no show on Tuesday.
Right, because we had recorded. Then they announced his death, and then we haven't talked about it. Right. What a bummer. I've always felt like it was coming though. I mean, 95. It's a ripe old age and all that. It's not like there's any real sorrow in that regard, but. It's Stan Lee, dude. It's a big deal.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's the guy who created some of the best moments in our growing up lives in comic books.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
and he did such great cheesy stuff all the time. The thing I like about him is that despite Marvel getting its kind of modern stuff figured out and appealing to broad audiences, you always had Stan Lee in the background yelling Excelsior or something funny like that.
Right.
Because the cheese never left him. The cheese was always with Stan.
No, he always knew it was comic books,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he never tried to make it into something more than what it is. You know,
Yeah.
it's like if you asked him, he says, "I write funny books for a living, you silly person."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
This is true. Veronica put up that photo of them, and that was pretty cool.
oh yeah, I met him once at a Mile High Comics on Broadway and Alameda in Colorado. He was there for a signing, and I don't know if we just got there early or the crowds hadn't filled up yet, but it was there was just a handful of us in there, and so we were chatting with him, and for the life of me, I know I had him sign a comic or two, a couple comics. I couldn't tell you what they are or where they are in my library. Somewhere in my comic book library is at least one, probably 2 or 3 comic books signed by Stan Lee.
Well, for good or ill, those just went up in value, so I may want to pull those out.
Yeah.
Did you get any pictures with him or anything, or no?
No. Wish I would have. It would have been mid 80s, and I was, you know.
It's not like you had phones.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like who takes a camera, full-on camera with them when they go to the comic store? But
That's pretty cool. I never met him.
Yeah.
Never saw him. I mean, I saw him here in Salt Lake. Watched him pass at the Comic-Con here.
sure.
He was doing a big on-stage thing with Shatner. It was him and Shatner.
Wow, what a combo.
Yeah, it was mostly Shatner interviewing him. Shatner seems to like doing that. He likes to interview people.
Yeah.
So that happened here, and then it was supposed to be his last public appearance because they were making a huge deal out of it. Oh, this will be his last one, and then
he wasn't going to do any more cons.
yeah,
or
which is
anything
total
like that.
bullcrap. He ended up doing like 100 more cons. Like it was not the last one at all. That was just to sell tickets or something. That was super weird they did that. But
Well, at the time, you might have thought that he wasn't going to do it anymore, and it was like, you know, well, I guess I have a few more conventions in me. True believers.
knock out a couple more. And he's been, you know, recently was all embattled with the caretaker
The elder
people
abuse
and all
situation,
that.
yeah.
So I hope some of that got resolved and his family's squared away and everything's good. But anyway, here's a quote from him.
One of Marvel's most popular superheroes.
It's back in the day.
Popular.
Here he is talking to Veronica Belmont.
You silly person.
There you go. Never going to forget that. It's the best thing ever.
It is the best thing ever, yeah.
You silly person. Anyway, yeah. Godspeed. Wind to your back there, Stan. May you make all the cameos in heaven or wherever you're going.
That's right. That's right. It'll be interesting. You know, they talked last year about how they filmed all of his cameos for the next several Marvel movies, or at least the next handful. And maybe that was probably before the last couple Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Did he make an appearance? I don't think he was in Infinity War.
He was. I forgot
Was
the
he?
scene, but he was in it. Let's see. Yeah, he was totally in it.
Was he?
Infinity War Part.
For whatever
1.
reason, I'm feeling like that thing had such a dark tone that.
Let's see. Yeah, he was. Avengers Infinity War. Here, I'll play it.
Oh, he has. Yes, that's right.
I'll play it.
Oh, he was
Oh, he's the bus driver.
bus driver. Right. Peter Parker sees what's going on.
And they freak out, and then he goes. Jumps out, and then.
What's the matter with you kids? You never seen a spaceship before?
There it is.
It's a
Yep.
terrible
careful.
recording of that.
Careful, we can't have that.
Yeah, what
Can't have the
what was it
YouTube
yesterday?
coming down.
What was it yesterday? I can't remember. What did I play?
It was the Monty Python Life of Brian clip.
Oh, right, yeah. The guy got a freaking, not takedown, but a, sorry, can't monetize this video, which I guess is fine. I don't care. But it's just annoying that anything you play on there, their robots go bing, bing, bing. Oh, I heard a Life of Brian clip. Like that time we played Tom Hanks laugh. And that's all it was. No video, nothing else.
Right.
Just Tom Hanks laughing from Money Pit. And they gave me a takedown notice for that damn video.
Dice Tomato asks, do you think they're going to Grand Moff Tarkin Uncanny Valley him like they did with Peter Cushing for Rogue One? Rogue One?
No, I think they haven't. I think they have a hallowed sense for Stan Lee. I don't think
so
they do
too.
it.
If anything, I think you start getting more subtle nods to Stan Lee, almost like what you get at the end of Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you'll have Hank Pym walking through a library and there'll be a book, the back of a book cover with a Stan Lee photo on it. Or
Yeah,
something
that
like
actually, I think that is actually how it goes. I think you're totally right. I would bet money on your solution because that seems like the respectful thing, like the Grand Moff
Exactly.
Tarkin thing. Like he died a long time ago.
Yes. Right.
And it's not like he was, a cameo in any other Star Wars movie. So it's a kind of a different deal. So it's hard to compare those two. But I don't think they ever go Uncanny Valley CGI, have him say things as a CGI character. They'll never do that. That'd just be too weird. Isn't there a cartoon? There's a cartoon or something where Stan Lee's in it all the time and keeps poking his head around and going, Excelsior, True Believers, or something, and then he disappears from the scene again. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Someone in the chat should know this cartoon. It's like I don't know if it was a Cartoon Network thing, or probably was. I'm trying to think where Marvel would have had their stuff, because it would have to be Marvel, I would think. I'm not actually sure, but he would just show up once in a while and go, "Hey, it's me, Stan Lee, and I think you should do this." And it was his own voice, but I can't remember the name of it. Was it Spider-Man and Friends? No. Lego? No. I don't know what it is. It's really weird how he does that. It's nothing you're all mentioning. It doesn't matter.
Right. And Dice Tomato is already working on or already planning the biopic, and he says they need to get the producer guy from Glow, Mark Maron, to play Stan Lee.
Oh my gosh.
Man. Mark Maron he's got the mustache, he's got the accent, and he's got the he's got the little light temples, right? The hair graying on the temples thing.
Yep, you give him those glasses, you're set.
Mark Maron is he portrays himself as too much of a dick to be Stan Lee.
Yeah, he'd have to really change up his act, right? He couldn't be so grouchy about it. Well, anyway, Stan Lee. Never forget. 95 years, well lived. Good job there.
Yeah,
dude.
For sure. All right, we got some emails to read, don't we?
Yeah. So here's the deal. I dug through the email pile and thought, hey, there's a few of these I should pull out and read, because why not? And it's Thursday, so we got a little time here. Don't have Babble Royale. So here's one right here from Megan, who wrote in, says, "Hey there, Scott and Brian." This is kind of a late shout out. I should have done this before. But anyway, says, "I hope all's well after the excitement of the last few weeks. What with the vacations, cons, and whatnot. It was so much fun getting to hear Kim on the show, and I did something about that becoming its own thing. And this is all we've done Skim since, so yeah. So she probably is aware of this.
Pre-Skim.
That's tonight, by the way. Boy, I'm sure I'll be a barrel of monkeys tonight.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this could be. Be witnessing podcasting history on tonight's Skim.
She'll hold my feet to the fire. I guarantee you that. Anyway, I have a request to make. My husband, Dennis, and I are headed up to Tahoe next week to celebrate our anniversary. I assume that just ended for them, like last week. But anyway, 10 years together and 6 years married. We recently found out we're expecting our first child in June. To celebrate, I was hoping you could do another edition of Soundboard Tourette's. I requested this for a while back for my husband's birthday and got major wife points. Our anniversary is November 11th, so anytime next week would be great. Thanks. We love listening to the show. All right, so I got this email way too late. Turns out your inbox just builds if you don't check it.
Amazing how that happens. Yeah,
it's weird.
You think that old stuff would just disappear off the back as new stuff kind of pushes forward, but no, it doesn't work that way. Sadly.
You'd think, but Ryan is correct. Ryan is correct. His name is Ryan. So we're going to give this a shot. I don't know what these will be. These will be kind of random, okay? And I want to do this for her and him to help their little celebration. And we will do this many. Okay, here we go. We're going to check those off. All right, here comes. Let's start with... These are all very short and totally at random. So here you go.
Touches. Testicles.
To polish.
Penis pals.
No, really.
Menstruation. Imagine.
I hear that.
Here's why.
Enormous.
Aw.
I don't give a shit.
Dick poop.
You is.
You hungry?
Frontal nudity.
Yeah, ooh.
Uppy bum.
The 2-pack.
Pube.
Take a selfie.
Spock. Nezu.
Duty schmooty.
Clean.
Hey. Are you fine?
Poo fest.
Left nipple.
Goo ball.
Did you get him?
You talking to me?
You say.
What is haggis? Piece of shit.
Nuke. Luscious. Odor.
He's dead.
Dog spurt.
Bluey.
What?
I hate duds.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Pat.
Love dungeon.
I like it.
I'm gonna lick it.
Duh.
Oh, Gerber. Where are you going to be? Think about it.
Not all of it.
Laurel.
Deagle.
Urban miracle.
Shoes. Booby trap.
Booby traps.
Vagina.
China.
The loin.
Snorkel. Pleasure, treasure. No.
Jill.
Bush.
Grape.
Drooling.
Jim died.
Wow.
Winning.
Who are you?
Vagina.
China.
Snorkel.
Pleasure, treasure.
F off.
Oh, they're playing again.
Bush.
Hey. Gentleman.
Dump.
Drooling.
Wow.
All right, for some reason, there's a whole set at
gosh.
the end that's just repeating. I don't know why.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Those are like all the shortest clips you've got, right?
Pretty much 0 seconds, 0 registerable seconds up to 2 seconds, 1 second. Oh, actually, 1 second and 0 seconds. That's all that is. So
That's great. Yeah. I think my favorite Tyrus 7 nailed my favorite. Jill Bush.
yeah, Jill Bush. Jill Bush.
Jill Bush.
Fantastic. All right. Well, that's that. Hope that you guys had a great time. Congratulations on your marriage and your first baby.
sure,
That's
yeah.
all awesome. Got one from Rasmus Cruz who wrote in, says, that's a cool name, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott and Brian, and it's even cooler given the subject here. Regarding the discussion of the Satanic Temple suing Netflix, I am not a member, but news about them has been popping up on Reddit a few times, so I have read a bit about them. You have probably already received emails telling you this, but despite their name, they do not worship or believe in Satan. Okay, I have questions about that, but fine, whatever.
yeah. Okay.
They are a non-theistic religious and political activist group that promote the separation of church and state, which, hey, I'm all for that as well.
Yeah.
They use satanic imagery because it highlights Christian hypocrisy in regards to the separation of church and state. When Christian politicians approve of a Christian symbol outside of government buildings, the Satanic Temple puts a satanic symbol in the same place on the basis of religious freedom. This freaks out Christians. As atheists, they wouldn't be able to challenge on grounds of religious freedom because atheism isn't a religion, which is why they use Satanism as a front. I recommend reading a bit about them on Wikipedia. I think you would agree that the 7 fundamental tenets of the Satanic Temple would make sense. Best regards, Rasmus Cruz. Yeah, I did a little bit of a deep dive. Sure enough, it's a lot different than I thought. I thought there was an actual bunch of people in black robes sitting around on Sundays going, "Oh, all hail the goat man."
The guys in Dragnet that you know.
Oh yeah, those guys. I forgot about them.
The movie Dragnet. Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess those are paganists or pagans or
pagans.
Pagans.
Didn't they? They kidnapped the Virgin Connie Swale.
The Virgin Connie Swale. That's right.
Yeah. That movie's underrated. You know, it's not great. I mean, it's not a great movie.
But there are moments, and it's those moments you think of when you think of Dragnet. It's like, oh yeah, that part was kind of funny, and the part where, Tom Hanks is dressed up with the faux hawk and he's like doing the dance and stuff.
Right.
But then there are other moments that are just.
I mean, there's got to be somebody somewhere though that's all in on Satan worship just because they love Satan, right? It's got to be a thing.
Right. It's not where it's not just a front for anti-church and state or separation of church and state ideals.
I got to think somebody somewhere, but I don't know who they are, and they're not prominent enough to be able to hold their hand up and be counted. So
yeah,
that's good information there, Rasmus Cruz. Thank you for that. All right, final email. We got one from let's see, who's this? This is from a name I didn't write down. That's fantastic.
Oh no, a name you did not write down.
Oh, his name is Sony. All right.
Oh, right. Yes, because we've talked to we read his email on FilmSack.
That's right. Says about offensive language discussion and satanic things. So we're in the same boat here. Hold on. Hi, Scott and Brian. I just wanted to weight in on the offensive language thing is what he wrote. I am an Asian American dude, and I realize I might be alone in this, but the derogatory racial language does not bother me in the slightest. Some stranger could come up to me in all seriousness and call me a chink, gook, almond-eyed, whatever, etc. Is that a thing, almond-eyed?
I've never heard of almond-eyed.
I haven't either. But also, it's uncomfortable for me to say those other 2 words out loud. But I'm reading his email, you guys. I'm reading his email.
I know exactly. This is, and this is pertaining to that whole long time no see and
right
stuff we were talking about Monday.
And also, the email, Google or Gmail warned me that it might be a phishing scam, and I think it's because of those words.
Oh, maybe. Jeez.
It's not one.
Yeah.
But Google's like, be careful. This
well,
could be a phishing scam.
the second paragraph, he does ask you to help him wire some money from his home country to
Oh, that's right.
To America, so that it will be rewarded.
Yeah, so Sony, the Nigerian prince, needs my help.
That's right.
He says, I can understand getting offended if someone you care about, like a friend, family, or a role model, says something like that, but I do not understand how anyone could get offended by someone who could care less about, or who you could care less about saying anything about anything. There are better things to do in life than worry about getting offended at what some dipshit you don't know said. Also, I happen to be part of a small satanic church, funny enough. Oh, check this out. Okay. I'm not sure what your assumptions are, but we do not worship Satan at all. Stupid Goat Man, Baphomet, is pretty much a satire and is there just to piss off hardcore Christians, and we laugh about it all the time. To me, we are the atheists, and we support equality, free will, and justice. People should be able to act with compassion toward other living things, and science should not be disputed with stupid religious beliefs. In short, we just want everyone to get along, respect each other's rights, and act like decent human beings. I cannot speak for the Temple of Satan or the Church of Satan, but this is what the small satanic community I'm part of is like. Thanks for all the entertainment that you provide. And again, I will say that when you guys retire or die, I'm not sure what I'll do with myself. And by the way, it's funny that you guys made fun of my name on Film Sack, because the name all my friends called me in high school was PlayStation. Love you all, Sony. Yeah, so
another thing kind of lending credence to the fact that Satan worship is more, just to promote a balance of equality and justice, and really they just throw the Satan thing up there because it kind of pisses off Christians.
Right. And
I
so
love it.
And that's a question I would have. That trolley part of this.
Yeah.
Does that get you anywhere? Like, does it actually get you further down the road for whatever the causes you're supporting? Like, I mean this genuinely. I'm not saying it doesn't, because maybe it does. But does you having a big goat statue and saying, well, here's our version of your Jesus statue, does that actually gain any ground with Christian groups?
What it probably does is, like our first emailer said, Erasmus said, it attaches it to a pseudo religion so that you're protected by your religious beliefs. Whereas if you just say, we believe in no religion, well, that's not a religion, so you don't get the same protections that that somebody with religious freedom would get from saying we are Satanists, we worship Satan, blah blah blah.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be curious to know more about whether that trolley aspect actually gets you anywhere.
Yeah,
because it seems like it would just piss people off, and that wouldn't get you anywhere.
It is interesting. Yeah. But it's funny, right? I mean, definitely not what I expected when we were talking about the Church of Satan and Satanists. It's like, okay, well, really, we don't love Satan. Right. We're just kind of using him as a front. We could use anybody. We could use Aunt Jemima. We could use Michael Moore. We could use whatever. We just have to have a.
Oh, I love the idea of Aunt Jemima. That'd be great.
I'm a Jemimaist.
Jemimaist. Have her visage up there that you worship.
Right.
So do you guys have meetings? Do you go like I don't know. Do you have some kind of meetings?
It would be interesting, yeah.
Yeah. Or is it just a thing you all know and you don't have to do anything? You just know that under the auspices of you saying you're from the Church of Satan, you can go cause a little rabble rousing with Christians.
They have meetings. They throw a virgin into a swimming pool with a giant snake. They hand out pills all over the place and make people dress up in goat leggings. I know all this.
You know all this. Hey, did you see
that documentary called Dragnet?
Did you see? What was I just going to ask? That cough made my memory go away. Hold on.
Oh,
what was I going to say?
Did I see?
Frick.
We finished Haunting of Hill House. Are you going to ask about that?
Oh, yeah. What'd you think of the end there?
Loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
Absolutely loved it. And yeah, I think the way it ended, it's not set up for a sequel or continuation. Like you said, the only thing they could probably do is give you more information about the hills.
Yeah, I think if they do anything, it could be go back to that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and maybe one of the modern characters, let's say, I don't know, Shirley, decides to go back and investigate the history, and then they could have the history unfold that way or something. But I don't think you have the big ensemble the way you had it. It's just so perfectly done and sews itself up so nicely, and what a piece of work that is.
And does such a different thing than most, if not all, haunted house stories and possession stories. There's no we have to bring in a priest to bless and cast the demons out of whatever. It's like, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to spoil it for people, but
Sure.
if you're expecting that kind of resolution, be prepared to be pleasantly surprised that it's different.
It's very different.
Yeah.
It embraces the horror haunting elements of the show without overshadowing the importance of the characters. And that's hard to do. I don't know how they pulled it off. It's so well done. People ask, well, what's it like then? I'd say, I don't know, if you could take...
This Is Us with ghosts.
Kinda. Except better. I think better than This Is Us. But yes, kinda like that. Or like, what was it? What was the other one? Take Parenthood and jam in like The Shining. Like you've got these really compelling characters that you care a lot about, that you want to see succeed, that you are heartbroken for when they don't, that kind of stuff. And then there's this horror haunting element, which is a weird combo, and it just works. It just totally freaking works. It's so good. Anyway, it's time for us to do the news.
Yes.
Do you remember the news?
Use it up.
You remember this? I do. It's a thing we do. Here it is.
This is your radio newscaster with another exclusive sensational summary of world and local events.
It's the news brought to you by...
Brought to you by the Coverthon, coming up 1 Earth Week from tomorrow, Friday, November 23rd. The site is still in the process of getting built, but you know what? The donate button works, and the tweet button works. So if you want to go to coverville.com/coverthon, there's information there. We're going to figure out a schedule. Looks like we're doing Film Sack in the morning.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's happening.
Second hour, and it's going to be awesome. I don't know what movie we're doing, but whatever it is, it's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
And you can sponsor an hour. You can create a set of music. There's lots of great stuff. So check it out, coverville.com/coverthon.
And a reminder, it goes to this incredible cause to help fight Alzheimer's
disease.
And only a tiny, tiny bit of it goes to make sure Brian stays above water with his music rights.
That's right. Yep.
So come support it.
Oh.
It's a fun thing. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, and I had it in the notes here. Tadpool Santa is underway. I had a note of that last email. I forgot to bring this up. Yeah, if you want to be part of the Secret Santa Tadpool situation thing that goes on every year, it's a blast. Tina and I do it every year, and it is so much fun. You can find out all the information you want at bit.ly/TadSanta2018. So bit.ly/TADSANTA 2018.
Nice.
And join up and do it.
Maybe they could do.
You might get me, and then boy, the people who get me as their Secret Santa get just a buttload of goodies and prizes and stuff.
I have an idea for Hill House season 2. You ready?
Okay, let's hear it.
I just want to follow around that big, tall, lanky guy that hovers just above the floor.
Yes, the hover with the cane, the walking stick.
Ooh, do not like that guy at all.
No, and his like bending over.
Oh, jeez.
Getting in your face. Yeah, he's.
And the whole reveal of the bent neck lady. Oh my gosh, so good.
Oh, the bent neck lady situation.
So good. All right, sorry, I'll stop raving about it now and talk about the news.
So good.
Here's an article. It's a Florida story. You know, we get those sometimes. Big shock, everybody. A drunk woman stole a lobster from a tank at Red Lobster. I want to thank Chuck for this. He tweeted it and said, hey, you guys should put this on the show. So thank you, Chuck. We're happy to do that. I love a guy named Chuck. Chuck is a great name. Great name.
Yes, it is.
A drunken Florida woman swiped a live crustacean from the tank at a local Red Lobster and escaped. According to the Smoking Gun, Kimberly Gable, age 42, was busted for disorderly intoxication following the incident at the St. Petersburg Eatery on Saturday. I guess we can call Red Lobster an eatery. That's fine.
Definitely an eatery. Yes. Sure.
What constitutes an eatery? Because it sounds fancier.
I don't think so. I think of eatery as any place that serves food. Starbucks is an eatery. McDonald's is an eatery.
Okay.
I don't think there's any level that you must be taller than this line.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be weird for me to say, yes, what are you doing today? I'm going to lunch at a local eatery. You may have heard of it. It's called McDonald's. Like, it sounds fancy and it's not fancy enough. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think it does sound fancy, and I'd say that somebody, if they were to describe a McDonald's as an eatery, they'd probably get laughed out of town. Oh, I'm going to get a Big Mac at the local McDonald's eatery.
Eatery. It's just too fancy. Anyway, she didn't get far. She was at the seafood joint. Now that I can call it. I call it a joint. That's fine. Around 1:17 p.m., she started to cause a disturbance and was asked to leave by a manager, according to a arrest affidavit. Suspect, according to the arrest, then began cursing before reaching into the water tank containing live lobsters, grabbing one, and then bolting out the front door. She didn't get very far. A short time later, cop noticed that she was slurring her words and had a distinct odor of an alcoholic beverage and maybe a little tank water from the thing over there. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah.
She continued to curse as she stated she didn't know why she did what she did with the pilfered lobster because she was blackout drunk, according to the document.
Oh, so when they found her, there was no lobster anymore?
No.
Aw.
I know. I feel bad for this lobster. It probably just died in the gutter or something.
Just walking through the city, hoping that it lands in some water.
Oh, it'd be a great animated something from DreamWorks. This fall from DreamWorks.
Lobster in the city.
Lobster in the city. Yeah. Who are you? I'm a homeless guy. Hey, we could be best friends. Anyway, she didn't care because she said she did nothing wrong. She was booked in county jail and released on a $100 bond. That's cheap, isn't it? Isn't it usually more than that? I don't know how bonds work. How do bonds work?
I mean, that's just a promise. You pay $100 and you promise not to leave the area before your arraignment.
So, but when sometimes it's way higher, how come it's higher and lower sometimes?
I think it depends on the severity of the crime. Usually the judge sets it, how much, and if she doesn't look like she's a flight risk, then they'll set it low.
And do you get the money back, or do you pay that as a permanent payment?
I think it's a deposit, and you get some of it back.
Okay. Oh, they say in the chat you pay 10% of your bond.
You pay 10% of your bond. Really?
Interesting.
Okay, so did they pay $100, or did they only pay $10? Like, was $100 the 10% of her actual bond?
I don't know how that worked. I used to work at a restaurant called Brannigan's when I was a teenager. And at night,
come for the tater skins at Brannigan's.
Pretty much. But at night, the owner would go and be a bail bondsman at night. That was like his second little money grabbing job, and he used to make really good money being a bail bondsman. I never understood it though. I just thought it seemed skeevy and weird.
It's funny. My dad came and paid my bail to get me out of jail when I was in jail. That story's long old. I'm sure there'll be a TMS mashups of that at some point, but I never did ask. My dad did have to pay my bail, and I don't know how much he paid, like how much the bail bondsman, like how much, basically I don't know how much he paid to get me out of jail.
So if somebody says you have $1,000 bail, according to the chat, you pay $100 of that to get out, and then you never get paid back for that. I don't understand why you have to say the higher number. I don't understand it. It's weird to me.
Yeah, right.
But if you,
you know what? It probably if you run, then you probably do end up having to pay the other 1,000. It's almost like a all right, I'm paying this amount to kind of promise that I'm not a flight risk, or that I won't run. Yeah. And if you run, then you pay the full amount. If you don't, then you just end up paying the.
Well, Woogle says if
there we go.
If you pay
Dead
the full,
Polymer says $100 to get out, $1,000 if you skip your court date.
Okay. Well, he also says if you pay the full bail, you get it back. But if you bond out at 10%, you don't get it back. Well, whose money is it anyway? Like, I guess it's your money either way, right? Like you pay the bond. Nobody that money is okay. It's confusing. I don't get it.
Bagheera says no, that is not how it works.
No.
we have a battle, a bond battle.
Bondsman battle. Go for it, guys.
Bond off.
Let's do it. Let's have a bond. These guys they're gonna go on and on about it. So I'm not gonna. This is bad radio.
You know what? Monday, I'm sure we'll have another email to read. It explains bail bonds.
We'll check it then. Good luck to this lady. Hey, men with beards are more attractive than those who are clean shaven, according to science. This is science saying this.
Science.
Listen, they know all. Science knows everything, and this is a new one. They know.
I'm going to say though that there's a limit, right? Like, beard is good, but when the beard gets to like ZZ Top, like there's a diminishing returns, right? Where if it gets too long, then you start going the other direction.
I think that's got to be true. They don't really get into that here, but I would love to know more about it. Like right now, my brother-in-law Steve has a pretty sweet beard, and it's like out to, I don't know, it's like
Like a Mumford and Sons level.
Yeah,
beard.
and it's really well kept, and he's putting the oils in it and doing the whole thing, and it's really a masterpiece. But I wonder if at some point, he's basically just becomes Gandalf. Like, what's
right?
Where do you stop? But anyway,
you might have to ask your sister-in-law and say, at what point did you stop finding him attractive with this beard?
Yeah,
as he was growing it.
I know I should get her opinion. She has a thing to say. Sure, Sarah, if you're listening, what do you think of Steve's beard? So here's the deal. Men who have full beards are seen as more attractive than men who would just have a little light stubble or nothing at all. According to the results of a new study, researchers found the widely celebrated attractiveness of beards on stars like Jamie Dornan, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Chris Hemsworth is apparently no coincidence. They all had a meeting and decided this is how we're sexy, boys.
Yeah.
As part of the experiment, male subjects were photographed clean-shaven 5 days after shaving, 10 days, and then after a whole 4 weeks without shaving. Some 8,500 women, that's 8,500 women. Oops, I just skipped it. There we go. Were asked to rate the men on their attractiveness as a long-term romantic partner. Heavy stubble, 10 days of growth or so, was found most attractive, while full beards grown over 4 weeks came in second. So that starts to answer your question about.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so heavy
returns.
Stubble.
Mm-hmm.
So the 10 days, and then second place is the full beards, the 4-week full beards.
Yeah.
And then light stubble third best, and then clean shaven men least attractive. So so go for the 10-day. Go for the 10-day stubble.
Yeah, and
is what we've learned from
They don't
this.
say anything about like Terpster's mustache style in here at all.
Yeah,
because I think that isn't even great. Yeah. I think it's nasty.
You know what? He can pull it off. Like there's a few people who can pull something like that off, but like the full mustache with the stubble. I could have sworn there were a few people like that in Bohemian Rhapsody hanging out with Freddie Mercury, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
He was the only one. I think Terpster, and I told him this at BlizzCon, I said, you look kind of like what the British refer to as a pedophile. A pedo.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I like to say it the way they say it, pedo, not pedo.
Yeah, of course. And how did he respond to that?
I don't know.
Brilliant.
It's probably that. Something dumb like that. Here's another one. We've got a teacher here that had to tell her deaf students that people can hear their farts. This is true. This is awesome. I love this story because you never even think about this, but her name is Anna Trepano. She's a first grade teacher at a school that serves deaf, hard of hearing, or hearing students from birth through 8th grade. So kids with hearing problems. Okay.
Yeah.
In addition to teaching the usual subjects, she's charged with helping students thrive in a society that doesn't do enough to cater to the needs of the hard of hearing. Recently, she had to teach her students about the rather personal topic, passing gas in public. 6-year-old kid farted out loud in class, and some of her classmates began to laugh. The children were surprised by the reaction because they didn't know that farts made a sound. This created a wonderful and funny teaching moment for her. So she got to teach them, hey, when that happens, lots of times you're going, and everyone's going to laugh at you. So maybe just know that.
It's funny because you don't think about that. But yeah, I mean, if they're not making noise with their mouth, they probably assume that they are completely silent and don't think about the fact that now if they could learn to manipulate their sphincters to the point where they could speak using farts.
Now we're talking.
Pass the butter.
Pass the butter. Clearly, you've had enough butter, she would say. If you're able to enunciate butter with your butthole, you've had enough butter. Oh, that's pretty good. All right, so that's the thing that happened.
I sounded like Kevin from The Office when I did that.
You totally did. Yeah, what's up with that? You still watching those reruns when you can't sleep?
Yeah, but I haven't had a hard time sleeping. Currently, I'm just catching up with regular stuff like the Supergirl, the Arrow, the Legends of Tomorrow, and Flash.
I'm so behind on all of those WB, CW things. I can't be bothered yet. One day.
You know what? I'm amazed at how much I'm loving Legends of Tomorrow currently, because that felt like kind of their junk drawer show. Like whatever they didn't do in any other shows, they could just kind of jam in there. They've really figured out. I mean, I hate to throw out a comparison like this, but they're kind of going Guardians of the Galaxy style humor on it, and it's working really well. Like it's, it's if Arrow is their crime thriller and Flash is their fantasy superhero thing, then Legends of Tomorrow is definitely their comedy, fantasy comedy thing.
Interesting. I have zero experience with the comic or anything related to the comics of those characters, so I don't even know who they are, but I'm sure I'd enjoy it. From what you said, it sounds like it'd be fun.
I think you'd like it, especially this season.
Are they all pretty people? They are, right?
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, but one of them's your dude what played Superman, Brandon Routh. You got your Katie Lotz, who has just the weirdest chin. I just can't not look at it. I don't know what the rest of Katie Lotz looks like, because anytime she's on screen, I'm just fixated on that bagel that she's got on the bottom of her face called a chin.
Yeah, she's got quite a chin.
Oh yeah, they've added John Constantine. They've got the only person who's really not like one of the young pretty people is the dude who was on Prison Break, the large bald guy who plays
large bald guy. Wait, the
Mick, what's his face?
Not the young guy with the tattoos on Prison Break. Not him.
No, but there were two of them on Prison Break.
The brother?
Dominic Purcell, is that his name?
Oh.
Maybe they were brothers, but then they were also on this show as teammates.
Yeah, Dominic Purcell. Let's see. Yeah, he is bald now. He didn't used to be bald. He's
funny, they haven't called him Heatwave on that show in such a long time. They just call him Mick. Hey Mick, watch gun, or Rory, or whatever.
He's like our age, that guy.
Yeah.
Well, just something I noticed about.
I mean, it's CW. It's all pretty people. Come on now.
I know. Here's another show I tried to watch while I wasn't feeling well the other night, and I tried to watch Designated Survivor, because Netflix has picked up all the seasons, and they're going to continue it on. They actually have the rights now to keep making it.
They picked it up. Cool.
And I like Kiefer Sutherland, and I like, the kind of 24 vibe that he puts off, and I thought this could be interesting, and it kind of is, but then they parade in all the supporting cast, and everybody's too good looking. I can't deal with it. Everybody's too good looking in this show, across the board. Just good looking people everywhere, working at the White House.
Yeah, but Kiefer isn't though, right? I mean, Kiefer's.
I mean, he's not, but he's
handsome in a weird looking way, right?
Yeah, I agree. He doesn't have to be. Yes, you're right about that. But there's something about him that makes him, I don't know if attractive is the right word, but there's something about Kiefer that's always sort of worked, and it works here. It's just that everybody else that works at the White House is a model. Like, what is that about? That doesn't exist in reality. If you go look at the actual White House, look at the actual West Wing employees of any administration, especially now, but any administration, they all look like The Walking Dead, man.
And nobody would watch a TV show, West Wing TV show, if everyone on the staff looked like Kellyanne Conway.
No, that's true, but at least West Wing had like, Toby was kind of a frumpy dude, and the only really good-looking person on that show was
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe, right? And in a way, that was part of his character, because it was something that kind of held him back. He was that attractive, but it kind of messed him up with his relationship. So they played off of it. But everybody else, C.J. Craig, I mean, she's beautiful in her own way, but kind of in her own way, right? Like, nobody's good looking on the West Wing, and that's why I think I like the West Wing. Because everybody's
Dead Polymer says, I can't tell if you're hot shaming the actors or ugly shaming the White House staff. Oh, can't we do both, Dead Polymers?
Yeah.
Is there,
Can we have both ideas in our head at once? One here, one here.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. What I really like is that this is not political, okay? But Kellyanne Conway, apparently her and her husband are like polar opposites politically.
Right.
So while she's, propping up President Hoo-Ha, he's over there doing.
Just say that they didn't alter that video of the.
They sped it up like sports. Yeah.
They sped it up. That's not altering it. We just sped it up.
Yeah, we sped it up at the end, and she says they do that in sports all the time. And I got to thinking, no, actually they slow it down in sports. They do slow motion in sports.
Exactly. Yeah.
That really annoyed me. I came away from that with a lot of questions about why would you even say that? Nobody speeds things up in sports videos. They slow them down for instant replays and stuff. Anyway.
Right. Anyway.
So, apparently he's like the polar opposite of her in every way, and
that's crazy.
Like, huh? Yeah, it's nuts. What's it like at home at night? Come home and go, hi, honey. Oh, hi, dear. Oh, how was your day? Oh,
Well,
do
You
things.
know, I had to talk about all the great things Trump is doing. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And then he's like, I had to spend the whole day. What'd you do? I spent the whole day talking about all the stuff I hate that he's doing. Okay, great.
Right.
You want to go on a date? Like, I don't know how it works.
That's the show I want to watch. I want to see what it's like at home for them.
The Conways.
Hey, Bravo, plant the Conways, plant a camera in there, and let's have that instead of Real Housewives and
Coming Home to the Conways. What's a good title here? Conway Twitty.
Oh, yeah, Growing Up Conway.
Growing Up Conway.
Keeping Up with the Conways.
There you go. Keeping Up with the Conways. But keeping would be a C, right?
Right. Yes, because you got it right.
It looks like seeping.
Seeping up with the Conways. Catching up with the Conways, and then you get the alliteration of the C's.
Yeah, I like that. Catching Up with the Conways. And just have a camera in the corner of the kitchen there.
Mm-hmm.
She comes home. Oh, you wouldn't believe the lie I had to tell today. And he'd say, oh, yeah, well, if you think that's bad, look what the dog did. Like it'd just be this,
exactly.
This fun little reality show we'd never forget.
Yeah. You want to get some takeout Jack in the Box tonight? Sure. Let me take off my makeup.
Yeah. Whoa, who are you? Oh, I'm sorry. It is you. All right, now we're face shaming. Now we're
ugly shaving.
Yeah.
But then if we say me.
Yeah. Yeah, me.
I'll take the hit on that.
Final story here. Deputy got 6 years for smuggling meth into jail in a KFC meal. This is no good.
Too. I love where he put it because you'd never find it.
Nope. 6 years in prison for the El Paso County deputy who pleaded guilty to bribery and contraband charges after he smuggled meth inside a KFC meal into the El Paso Criminal Justice Center. Stephen D'Agostino. The now former deputy was originally facing charges of unlawful possession of a controlled substance with the intent to distribute. This included contraband and an official misconduct. He was sentenced Wednesday in Colorado Springs. That's your neck of the woods there.
It is.
After pleading guilty back in September, he'll serve 5 years of parole after his prison sentence. It's unacceptable to have this kind of behavior, he said, his boss. Let's see. Let's skip ahead here. According to the court documents, El Paso deputy got a tip from an informant that this dude was smuggling drugs into the CJC. The informant said he communicated with associates and inmates outside of the jail by email, and they would arrange meetings to provide narcotics concealed in food products.
Oh, so they don't even talk about where it came from. So he was hiding it. He was smuggling it in the mashed potatoes, like hiding the meth in the mashed potatoes.
Let's see here. Yeah, you're right. Oh, he put some in a burrito. What? They don't have burritos there. They have burritos there?
Puts the pot in Chipotle.
Oh my gosh, Chipotle. That's a great idea. Boy, after learning yesterday that Starbucks is the number 2 fast food place, that was crazy to learn that.
Quick service restaurant. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That was nutty. All right, speaking of nutty, we're going to be back in a minute. That's a bad way to say this. No one's nutty. No one's nutty. We got the Therapy Thursday coming up, and we got a great email that we're going to talk about, and possible calls if we have time. So come on back for that. We'll do that in a second. Before that, though, Brian brought music. What do you got?
I did, and this is a band. I know I talked about Civil Discord yesterday, and that I thought we'd played them before. These guys I know we've played on the show before. The band is called Lese Majesty, Lese Majesty. They are from Curl in New South Wales, Australia. And they've got a new single that they've released to Triple J, which is the radio station out there, JJJ, but Triple J. Yeah. So it was released on Triple J Unearthed. They had positive reviews from the Age of Outrage single that they released a couple months ago, which again is the one that we played on the show. They've got a new 6-track EP that's called Patterns and Signals that's going to be released tomorrow, Friday, November 16th, as well as launch show dates and a lyric video for the opening track, which is the one you're about to hear right now. The song is called Signs. Here is Lese Majesty.
All right, here it is. We'll be right back.